Monday. Hello, Kuro. Hello, CLO. Hello, all my lurkers out there, fans of the channel, friends. How is everyone doing? I am back, sort of. I'm back with a quick little 1 hour stream. I'm going to talk about my weekend. I don't have a schedule yet. I'm working on it. It's going to be kind of a shorter week. I'm probably going to be taking the next couple of days off because I got some stuff going on IRL, working around the house, doing some things. So Tuesday, Wednesday, probably not going to be streaming. If I do, it'll be a gorilla. It'll probably be something short, like maybe Winter or something like that. Planning on at least a Friday stream, if not Thursday and Friday. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll probably have a schedule up tomorrow. Man, I am bouncy today. Look at me bounce. I think it's because I have the waist going on here. You don't get to see my waist that often. My hips, my cute hips. I'm feeling pretty tall today. So let me actually turn the bouncing down. Hold on one sec. This boy is just way too bouncy. Oh no, you can see my parts. You can see my innards. Bounce force. Yeah. No, that's not bouncy enough. All right. This. Yeah, there we go. That's good. Okay, cool. All right. So, I had a big weekend. I took a few days off. You remember I took off Wednesday and Thursday so I could play Power Wash Simulator and Death Stranding, and then I was gone Friday through Sunday. Well, what you don't know, is I went to Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen is a racetrack in New York, so it's out in the Finger Lakes. Oh, I should really bring up a map for this. Hold on. Hold on one sec. I'm gonna screenshot this. Let me just show you exactly where it is, because I'm a very visual person, so I like to know like where things are, right? Where things are in the world. I don't want you to see all my everything. Let me just find a map of New York. Let me just find a generic map of New York State. So Watkins Glen, it's a very famous racetrack in New York. It held the U.S. Grand Prix. I think it's the U.S. Grand Prix for many years, from like the 50s all the way up through the 80s, and then the track ran out of money and they defaulted on the prize money. So F1 no longer went to Watkins Glen after that. I think it was like 1981 or 1982. So then I think the track got bought out by the same guy that started or owns NASCAR now. So it's actually owned by like the NASCAR organization. There's a whole history of everything here we go. So this is New York. This is the state of New York. And let me get my pointer here. So I've got a really cute pointer. It's a little cat paw. Hi, Miss Merck. Hello. So where the cat paw is, so you see all these lakes here in central New York. These are the Finger Lakes. They're called the Finger Lakes. So this is, oh wait, I'm hiding now. Let me shrink this down a little bit. You guys can see. So the Finger Lakes are a group of lakes in central New York, and they're very long. It looks like a hand, right? So it's like little fingers coming down. And there's a few little ones, and then there's two really big ones. So the two really big ones are Seneca and Cayuga. Seneca Lake, at the tip of Seneca Lake, is the town, the village, or city, I don't even know what it is, of Watkins Glen. So Watkins Glen is at the tip of Seneca Lake here. And then just to the southwest, about 10 minutes to the southwest, is the Watkins Glen International Circuit. So out in the middle of central New York, this is like wine country. Some of you who probably know nothing about New York don't believe me, but there are vineyards out there. There's actually quite a lot of vineyards. So the thing about the Finger Lakes is all the tourists come out of New York City and they go and they come out to the Finger Lakes, and then they get white girl wasted during the summer. So that's what you do in central New York. You go out to the Finger Lakes and you get white girl wasted, and then you go to the racetrack. You also go to another really cool place, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. So let's get out of here, New York. Get out of here. Okay. So, like I said, I spent the weekend at Watkins Glen. I actually stayed in like fairly nearby, about 15 minutes north, in a really nice little Airbnb that was just, very pleasant. It was like a nice kind of loft apartment, had its own private entrance. Nobody bothered me. It was just very nice. It was a very chill place to stay, right out in the middle of wine country. So I got there on Friday, and immediately I had tickets for the whole weekend, but there was one other thing I really wanted to do while I was in Watkins Glen, and that is to go to the Corning Museum of Glass. Let's go. So if you've never heard of this, the Corning Museum of Glass is a really, really fancy museum in Corning, New York. So that's about 30 minutes west of Watkins Glen. And like, it's basically the only other thing to do out there other than the racetrack. You go to the racetrack, and I'll show you a photo of this. There's a big billboard at the racetrack, like at the start finish line, advertising the Corning Museum of Glass. So it's kind of a big deal. I was kind of not very ill prepared in this. I only got to spend like not even like 2 hours at the museum. So unfortunately I didn't get to go see all of the exhibits, but I saw enough to really enjoy it. But I know that this city, Corning, is famous for its glassworks. I don't really know why, because again, I didn't spend a lot of time at the museum learning the history, and I feel really bad about that, because I'm the kind of guy that, like, I'll go to a museum and I'll read every fucking sign. I'll read every fucking sign in the museum. And I didn't get the chance to do that this time, so I had to be like a normie tourist and just kind of breeze my way through it, looking at as many things as possible. So I will go back someday. I'm definitely going to go back to Watkins Glen. I'm definitely going to go back to the Corning Museum of Glass. So yeah, so the architecture of this place was really awesome. Very, very large glass windows, very kind of white interior and also exterior, tons of skylights. Because what you find in the museum is, of course, like different sculptures of glass, different art installations and exhibits that, using the natural light is very beneficial to the museum. So anyway, let me go to the next slide. So in the museum, one of the first things I wanted to do was they have, what do you call it? Like they have classes, they have hands-on workshops, and they also have demonstrations. So right off the bat, there was a show going on for some glass making. So they have, glass blowing even. So they have, like a presenter there, and then the artisan, and they have these like kilns on the stage, tons of different cameras to kind of show you like what's going on. They even had like cameras inside of the kilns. So like oh God. When you see the kiln back here, there's actually a camera like inside of it, so you can see like when this dude is sticking the glass in the inside of the kiln, you can see what's like going on inside. You can see the glass melting as he's like spinning it and stuff. It's really freaking cool. So they attempted to make like a certain type of plate with like this beautiful kind of like pineapple mold. And it was like one of the more difficult things they make there, so it kind of got fucked up. But it turned out, something. It turned out something in the end. It was just really cool to watch, them do their process. What's really interesting about the kilns they use, and I wish I got more photos of this, all the equipment here on stage is very portable. So normally, like in a glass workshop, things are like very stationary. You have like the kilns, and they're kind of like set like where they are in the ground. They're kind of built where they are. These are like electrically operated kilns. And what was interesting was they said they were made specifically by Cornell, the university, which is nearby in Ithaca. They were made by Cornell to actually do glass making demonstrations on Carnival cruise ships. So the Corning Museum of Glass actually bought these kilns from Carnival after they stopped using them on their cruise ships. I thought that was really interesting. Very unique, one of a kind. All right. So the museum itself has a ton of sculptures, and some of the most impressive are like in the very first sculpture sort of like gallery that you walk into, and there's a lot of like very modern pieces in here, like ultra modern. So this one in particular, I call this one the danger pillow, because it's like, it looks very fuzzy, but it's actually like thousands of shards of glass. So like, Yeah, you don't want to touch that shit. I mean, like, look at that. You can see like the shards there, and I'll get it at a different angle. So if you view it from this angle, it's very white and fuzzy and pleasant. But if you look at it this angle, oh my goodness, it is horrifying. Look at that thing. It is so sharp looking. Yeah. So yeah, that thing's pretty awesome. And you can go look at, I think you can look at most of these on their website. They probably have like links to who the artists are. Actually, something's really bothering me right now. Let me just, there we go, crop that. Okay. All right, so moving on, like some of the other sculptures we saw, this isn't like one of the first rooms you come into. This is just like an entire table just covered in these like amazing glass sculptures. There's like plants and cacti and all these like sort of like desert plants. And then on the bottom, there's like vases and cups and things just kind of like glued to the bottom. So it's like very, very ultra modern kind of art, but very like inspiring because it's all glass, right? It's just so cool to see things like so glass focused. And in this room in particular, in this whole entire gallery exhibit, the ceiling is totally kind of like open. You know, it's like skylights everywhere. So this exhibit in particular was really interesting because if you look at this, look at these what do you call them? Like shelves, and it's all like normal cupware or normal glassware like you would find in any person's like cabinets in their kitchen, but it's arranged in such a way to make them look like trees. They look like really cool trees. So they have like green glasses up here and then brown glasses in the center and then like clear glasses all around it. It's just very, you know, there of course the plaques say like, oh, the artist meant this, that, and the other thing, but you look at it and you're just like, I just think it's neat, you know? And that's what's great about art is like, you can just enjoy it for what it is. You don't really have to dive into the deeper meaning, right? This was another piece in the room here. So I found this piece to be the most striking. And what this is these are these beautiful blue glass like discs, and they dip down in the middle here. And what you can see, there's sort of a, and let me blow it up a little bit. There's sort of like a teardrop effect to it if you look at it. And what it is each one of these sculptures pertains to a different city in the world. And it shows you through the use of how far this clear bit drips down and the bulges in them, different populations throughout history. So it's like in this such city, it started out the population was, you know, like this small, and then it started to balloon bigger, but then the Black Death happened and it shrunk down, and then it started growing and growing again until the modern era where populations exploded because of, you know, everything in the world. So it's a very, very interesting piece. Very, very awe-inspiring, especially depending on like what countries you're thinking of, right? So China, Russia, you know, even the US, to see like what happened throughout history. Very, very cool piece. This is the these are like the skylights in this gallery. So it's like very much open and very well lit, and they even have spotlights too to kind of add to it in case it gets cloudy. It was a bit cloudy that day, but there was plenty of natural light coming in. It's very nice. This was like a really, really striking piece to me. This is like this pyramid. I don't know. I just think it looks fucking cool. I don't go for modern art that often, but when it comes to like glass and geometric shapes and form and how light strikes something, that kind of stands out to me. So even if you're not like a big modern art appreciator, I think anyone can really enjoy this museum for what it is. So yeah, really neat. This was another piece in the same room. This is like like kind of a woman, but without the body, right? It's just like the shawl. And what was interesting about this piece is that it was created in multiple parts and then like, I guess, glued together in separate sections. So yeah, it's very, very beautiful. And depending on where you stand, like standing from this point, it's very much like very dark and blue, like almost like gray black from this angle. But when I went around it and I came around like from this side coming out, it was much more transparent in certain areas and looked a lot more like blue. There are a lot more like blue highlights that I could see around it. So yeah, it's really neat how walking around these sculptures, different ways the light hits it and different angles produce completely different effects. It's very fascinating. This was another piece I really liked. This was in the same room. This is just like, I don't know, it made me think of like whales or like very long fish kind of swimming through the air, swimming through the sea. Very, very cool. And it's just so neat how it's just suspended in midair like that. This piece was neat. This is like a whole chandelier made out of like, it has a lamp in the middle, but all these are like butterflies around it. And what's really neat about the butterflies, let me see if I got a close up. Oh no. What's really neat about the butterflies is that they had an example of one on the wall, like down here, like next to it. And these are all made out of solar panel material. So if you've ever seen solar panel material up close, you know it's very like kind of like broken looking, but very like quasi-reflective and shiny, and it has this like kind of very strange quality to it that you only get by looking at that solar panel material, and they're all made out of it. And there was a little teaser on there. So this lamp is like rotating and it lit up. They kind of tease that like, yeah, if you shone light on all of these butterflies, it would definitely generate enough power to turn this entire lamp and power the lamp. I don't think they had it set up like that, but you know, I believe it. You know, if it was wired up properly, they could power their own lamp. Yeah, that one was really cool. And then I saw like a whole bunch of other modern art, but like I was like really pressed for time, so I like didn't get too many pictures. But what was really impressive was the gift shop too. The gift shop occupied like an entire floor. And what's neat is like, yeah, there's like, you know, your normal like gift shop tchotchke items down here, like t-shirts and magnets and like stuff that's like very affordable. But they also have like literal artist galleries back here where it's like each one of these table is dedicated to a certain glassmaking artist. And there's sculptures here just kind of hanging out in the open that's like, yeah, that's $7,000. Yeah, that's $9,000, right? They just have these sculptures just hanging out. It's like, oh yeah, I could see myself buying something like that if I hit the lotto. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like an artist alley. It's an artist alley without the artist actually being there. But yeah, no, that was really cool. And there were definitely like some coasters in there and some smaller glasswork items from some of the artists that were like, you know, more in the affordable like $20, $40 range. But yeah, a lot of that stuff was like, all right, a little much for me, a little too much. And the lighting is pretty, yeah. Just like, yeah, I mean, the gift shop like looked impressive just by having like all this, I don't know, stuff. So cool. And then at the back of this gift shop out in the hallway, they had this really cute truck where they had these glass flowers like just hanging out in this truck. And these were like, I don't know, these were actually pretty cheap. I think they were like $13 or $16 or something like that. Really just kind of like, well, if you couldn't afford anything there in the gift shop, you can always come get one of these flowers and give it to your GF or your PF. Yeah, I just think the truck was cute. So yeah, had a really good time at the Glass Museum. Definitely recommend it. I definitely recommend giving yourself like probably at least 3 hours to kind of explore it, because there were sections like I didn't even see. Like there's a whole like history of glass from 5,000 BC to today. I just skipped all of that because like the history stuff you can learn that anywhere, but the modern art exhibits like that only exists here, like in the museum. But I'd like to go back and get a, experience the whole museum, go do like 1 or 2 of the classes, and they definitely have like workshops where you can like make your own glass sculptures and cups and things like that. Yeah. Hey Dee Dee. Hey. We're just I was before we got to the racing stuff, I was talking about the Corning Museum of Glass, which is how I spent my Friday. So I got there on Friday and then I went to the Glass Museum. And then Saturday and Sunday I spent at the races. So we're just going over the Glass Museum stuff. All right, so that was day 1. That was Friday. Oh, and here's some foods I got. So I went to this funky restaurant, like not far from my Airbnb, and it's like totally outside. And it's weird because like you order your food like up front. They're like, you come in and the lady's like really, friendly. And she's like, okay, here's your menu. You can order your food and then go sit at your table and we'll bring it to you. I was like, oh, okay. I was like kind of hoping for like just like a sit down. I just want to sit down. I just want to sit down and look at the menu for 10 minutes. But like I had to like order right away. So I got like a pulled pork sandwich, a margarita and French fries. And I got cornbread too. And the pulled pork was good. I ate like kind of not too long before this. I stopped for like a late lunch around 4 on the way down and got a meatball sub. So I wasn't like that hungry, but I ate probably about like half the pulled pork and then saved it for the next day. And it was a really good pulled pork sandwich. The margarita was good too. So it was a nice little evening. Of course, because it's like small town, rural New York, like everything closes by like 9. So if you're like, if you're going out to dinner, you got to kind of like plan ahead. So I was rushing back from the museum, and it takes about 40 minutes to get from the museum to the Airbnb. So I was kind of like getting there around 8 or whatever. Anyway, so it was around sunset, and it was a really, really pretty sunset. So it was really nice just like sitting out on the porch, having pulled pork, sipping a margarita, and watching the sunset over the lake. It was really cool. Around WGI, if you're within an hour, you're close. Yeah, I mean, that's just rural New York, right? It's just like, it just be like that. Oh, yeah, there's the cornbread. Tasty cornbread. Yeah, good stuff. So I saved most of this for lunch the next day when I got to the Glen. All right, so now we're going to get into racing. Yay! So Saturday I got up, went to the Glen. So at the advisement of DD, I splurged for infield parking, which was absolutely totally worth it, by the way. So I've been researching online, like, what is the big deal about infield parking? And everyone's like, oh, you can park your car, and then like you can go drive your car somewhere else in the infield, and blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna park and I'm not gonna move my car. The real benefit of infield parking is, holy shit, it was so fucking hot on Saturday. It was like 95 degrees. So the benefit of having infield parking is you can literally just like go to the grandstand, watch the racing for like 20 minutes, and then when you get too hot, go back to the car, turn on the air conditioning, and then pull ice out of your cooler and rub ice all over your body. That's the benefit of infield parking. That's why you get infield parking. So I was really glad I brought my big Coleman cooler. I filled it with ice at the Walmart, dumped a bunch of drinks in, and yeah, that was like the best, right? Having that cooler, having the car like right there near the grandstand I was watching the race from was like really, really nice. So I was really glad I got infield parking. So thank you to DD for recommending that. It was totally worth the extra money just for that. It was worth it on Sunday too, and I'll get there. I'll get there when we get to Sunday. So anyway, for this portion, I want to show you guys who are not familiar with the track, or maybe you are familiar with the track, and I'm just gonna kind of point some things out. Oh, that's what I want. Yeah. What else do I have here? I got that. I got that. I got this. I got this. Okay, cool. I know why it was worth it on Sunday. Yeah. We're gonna talk about that. Oh, that's moving. We're schmoving and grooving here, mechanics. Turn 10 grandstands. Let's go. Hello, Isaac. Welcome. Yep. So I got infield parking. So I'm going to point things out on the map as I show you, because I walked all over the Glen. I went everywhere. So I came in from the gate 5. So that's here. I'm looking at the bottom right down here. And then you go in through here, and then going under this part of the track here between turns 9 and 10, it's like a tunnel. So you go up the tunnel, and then I took a left here, and then basically parked like right here. So literally like dead center of the track in between everything. It was absolutely perfect. So what's really cool about the Glen is you can get infield day parking. You can also go camping there as well. So I saw a ton of RVs, a ton of campers, teardrop campers. Really, 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 really fun. And like, I've known this was a thing for a long time, but I've never been to a racetrack before like this. And like I lived, so like when I was growing up, I lived in a couple of different houses. The second house I moved into as a kid, the family that was moving out, this was their thing. Their thing was like, they bought an RV to travel around the US and go to races like this and camp at the campgrounds. So they sold their house, and then they went.
Oh no, my shoe!
Yeah, thank you so much for the follow, Isaac. They sold their house, bought an RV, and then just like did this like for like their retirement, which is just like travel like racetrack to racetrack and just like go for the weekend and just have fun. That's what we call the dream. Yeah, honestly, it looks really, really fun. And like all the fans were really so chill. Like I never felt like unwelcome there. Like I was kind of like, I've never been to like an American race before. So I was like, I'm kind of like if I go there, like we'll be like the kind of crowd of people like I would want to hang around, basically, right? But everyone was like really chill. There were a lot of young people there. I mean, there were a lot of old people too, and a lot of just like, yep, this is just what we do. But like there were a lot of young people there. I saw a lot of like F1 fans. I saw a lot of like all kinds of fans of like all kinds of racing. And really like walking through the camping areas and walking through like all the RV sections, I was kind of jelly. I was like, damn, bro, I want a camper. I want to do this. This is so much fun. Because like people would set up with like, they bring their whole family, right? So they'd set up, they get like a nice porch set up. They might set down like some rugs. You can have campfires there. You can have grills. People brought full ass generators, right? It was like serious glamping, serious glamping. Some people had TVs set up like full on like 55-inch flat screens with like the satellite feed hooked up with the satellite dishes on the top of their RV. So they had like the race on their TV while like it was like raining and stuff. So they could like, you know, just chill like under the porch or whatever. So cool. Basically there's a race being held at this party. yeah, basically. So yeah, it was really cool. The vibe was really good. But yeah, this was pretty much like what it looked like for the most part in the parking areas. It was like a mix of just like random cars and then like campers and RVs and things like that. So I parked right at the Turn 10 grandstand. So this is the Jackie Stewart grandstand. It's right near some concessions and bathrooms, and then the entrance to the entrance to like the paddock area and the pits and everything. So again, like I parked here, and then if you just go like right down here, it's like bam, you're in like paddock area, the pits, the grid, and all that. So not far to walk at all. So I was lucky enough, I got there probably about 30 minutes before the grid walk started. So like went to the grandstand, checked out the grandstand, and then immediately went to the grid. So what it is they open up the grid for a grid walk so that the fans can literally just like go up, talk to the drivers, look at the cars, walk the pits. Very, very, very cool. This was right before the big Saturday race, which is the S's 120, which is a 2-hour Michelin Pilot challenge race. So what was it? What cars did they have? They had GS's Grand Sports in one class and then touring cars in the other class. So I'm a fan of touring cars. Like I don't follow it, but like I've raced them in iRacing. So they had Hyundais there, the Hyundais that I race in iRacing, and I got a couple of photos with them. GT4 and TCR, yeah, GT4. And then yeah, so I got like a couple of photos of some of the touring cars. I got a lot of photos of just like anything I thought cool, like any kind of like livery I thought was good. Yeah, my like real race fans in the chat, just like feel free to educate me, because like this was kind of my first time going to one of these. So here's one of the Hyundais, one of the touring cars here. This is the one I race in iRacing. So it was like really got me really excited to kind of see this in person and get to like check it out. I got a cool couple of photos in front of one of them, so that was fun. Fans were just like really chill and cool. Like I bumped into probably about 3 drivers accidentally because like the crowds were getting pretty intense at this point. This is the safety car. This is the Corvette safety car at the track for that weekend. Really, really cool livery. Really like the blue livery on this. Very exciting. There's the front of the Corvette. It's always super cool to see the cars you drive on iRacing IRL. I was just happy to be at Watkins Glen because I've gone around this track probably 300 or 400 times in iRacing alone. So it's like knowing the track and then seeing it in reality from like different sections was like really exciting to me. It gave me this like weird nostalgic feeling because like I've never been here before, but like I know it. You know, it's just so weird. Yeah. So yeah, and the pit lane was just so cool just to see like all the different teams, like setups, you know, how they arrange their screens and their computers and their fueling systems and everything, and just like being able to see the mechanics and the drivers and folks just like hanging out, you know, talking to people, just like, you know, you could wave to them, say hi and all that. It was just really, really, really fun. It was really chill too. Just more of the pit lane walk. Got some more cars here. You can see like some of the drivers in the racing suits. It's us. Yeah, the mechanics. Yeah, it's you guys. It's you guys. And it was a beautiful day too. I mean, it was hot as fuck. It was like between 90, 91 and 94, but like it was beautiful out. Like it was just perfect weather. All right, so here's what I was talking about before. There it is. There's the billboard for the Corning Museum of Glass. You can even see that billboard in iRacing. It's pretty funny. End of the pit lane here. These are the big boys. We got Porsche Penske. You got, Porsche Penske occupied like the whole last couple of pit stops there. I forget who else was like before that. I think like United Autosport was there. A couple others. Penske is so over the top. Yeah, they really had like the most impressive garage going on there. Really stood out compared to everybody at the front of the pit lane. I have so many photos of the pit lane, but I didn't want to like do too many because I didn't want to bore you guys. Some really interesting stuff is when we did the whole grid walk, and then we kind of like spent, I think they give you like 15 to 20 minutes in there, and then they start kicking you out. So we were on our way out as soon as they start kicking us out, but you can go behind the grid and actually see what's going on the opposite side of the garages. So they had like guys just like pushing fucking tires around, just like tons of tires going on these tire carriers. They had like these little carts that are pulling them around. These guys are from Cadillac Racing, pulling their tires around. So that was neat. Lots and lots of tires. I think they said they spent 1.5 million on their, hang on, my thing is in the way. Wow, can Twitch chat like fix itself? Hold on one sec. Oh, there it goes. I think they said they spent 1.5 million on their pit complex. Yeah. Oh, also, if you're in the area, I do recommend visiting the Corning Museum of Glass. Yeah, I covered that in the first 10 minutes. Let's see. Oh, my BG's loud. Someone told me my BG's loud. Okay, turn it down. No worries. I just want to get that out of the way in the first few minutes. Okay. All right. So yeah. So this was the back of the pit lane. So this was like the other side of the garage, so you could see like more of the tires and all that going on there. Good evening. I'll be around on background while working. Yeah. Welcome, Moa. Hello. And this was like the paddock area, so they had like a whole bunch of trucks back there. With like all their equipment and stuff, and like where the cars come in. So that was like really impressive. So after I did the grid walk, I went and did the I keep saying we, so I actually did have a friend go with me. I did have a friend go with me, but this stream is about me. So all right, so this is the United Autosports garage here. So a lot of what was in the paddock were like the LMP2 cars and the cars that were in the big race for Sunday. So what was really neat was seeing like these endurance cars, and they had like the fronts taken off, like all of the what do you call it? The carbon fiber, the fronts, not the chassis, the aero bits taken off, so you could see like on the inside of the cars, which was really neat because the mechanics were like still working on them. All the suspension and everything. Yeah, you got it. And here's like a close-up of another one of those LMP2 cars. So it was really cool to just see like the doors open and all that. And there's another one on the other side of the garage. I got a lot of car porn in there. This is the scrutineering station. So this is where IMSA does their scrutineering. So they were in the process of like rolling up some of the cars for the 6-hour race up on these weigh stations here so that they could do their scrutineering. So that's them checking to see that everyone's, within the weight limits and they're not trying to cheat or anything like that. And there's the scrutineering flag. Best part is you can just walk up and see it. Yeah, it's so awesome. This was one of the cars for Sunday's race getting rolled up to scrutineering. It was really cool to just like be in the paddock area and then like having to like move out of the way for like dudes rolling cars around. You really had to watch what you were doing in the pits and the paddock, because cars were just coming through all the time. So like you really had to pay attention, and it was like loud too. So you couldn't really rely on your hearing either. You just kind of had to have your head on a swivel. Otherwise you're going to get run over by like somebody with tires or a car that's being wheeled to scrutineering or whatever. Here's one of the Porsches that was in the race. Yep, Rexy. And that was getting wheeled off to scrutineering. So you can see like how packed the paddock is here with like everybody, the crowds being around. It's really, really cool. And this was, yeah, so the car came out of this one. So this is, I think it's AO Racing, and they run Rexy and Spike. So they have like really cute mascots for their cars, and they have like cool livery. So Spike is purple and Rexy is green. They're kind of like fan favorites. There are a lot of people around this area of the paddock. And I saw a lot of like mascot merch too. Did you get a Rexy plush? No, I didn't. I did see a few people with them. Most popular team on the grid, and they're like brand new too. Yeah, I remember seeing Rexy last year, I think, or the year before. Okay. So let me add in the audio here. I forgot to add in the audio before we started. Did you get any souvenirs? I did. I got a t-shirt and I got a magnet. Audio epic catch. Hang on, I just gotta. That's not it. I was scrambling to set this up beforehand, and I forgot like one thing here. I just wanted you guys to get some of the sound. There we go. All right, let's do this. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. All right, this might be loud. Let me mute the BGM first. I'll bring it down. So this was the start of the SS120. So this was the Michelin Pilot Challenge race. That was in turn 1, yeah. So that was in turn 1. That was the start of the race. That was awesome. I got down to the turn 1 just in time for the start of the race. And then this is like probably like lap 5 or 6 or something. So this is a little bit further up. This is like going up the hill into the S's. Yeah, so that was really cool. So up here, you can see like there's this like fancy grandstand over here, and there's another fancy grandstand a little bit over here. I think that's the Jack Daniels Club. That's like a $900 ticket. So if you want to hang out there all weekend, you can just like drop $900, park your really expensive Corvette like in the parking lot over here to the right, and then just like hang out in the air conditioning all weekend. So too rich for my blood. All right. Wait, can I go to the next slide? There we go. Or was that it? Yeah. All right, so this is... Oh, all right, so let me point out where that was on the map. So this one, let's see, this one here. Yeah, this is turn 1. So I was down like here. I was down like there where the cat paw is pointing. And then this one is like a little bit up. I think it's right... It's like right here. Yeah. There's another fancy grandstand in turn 10. The S's grandstand. Yeah, I remember that. All right, so this was... Where was this? Let me watch it. Ah, I know where this is. Yep. So this is turn 9. So I think I went and got lunch, and then I walked over here and spent some time at turn 9. So what it is they go through the boot. The cars go through the boot. They come up here. Turn 9. So if you remember my iRacing stream the other day, when I was like, oh man, I'm having such a good time. We've only got a couple laps left. This is amazing. I'm gonna be in 4th. I hit this curb here. And then I kind of lost it. And then that dude came up behind me and totally trashed me. That's where I lost it. I lost on that turn there. So yeah, very, very famous turn for me. Totally wrecking my own race. All right, so this is the turn 10 grandstand. So this is the view from that grandstand you saw in the beginning, close to where I parked. So that's down here. So this is a really nice one to view because this is them coming into the final couple of turns, coming out of that turn 9 to turn 10. It was really chill. It was a good place to watch the race from. This is my lunch. This is my lunch. It's French fries with basically cheesesteak. It was good. Well, no, it wasn't good. It was track food. It was literally just track food. And I brought Allagash White with me because I brought a whole cooler. So I'm like, I'm not gonna buy beer at the track. I'm gonna bring beer with me. So the cool thing was I could just go back to the cooler, grab a drink whenever I wanted, and just walk around with it. So yeah, I got cheesesteak fries. You saw me. You were sitting in front of people with the umbrellas. Nice. Looks so good. Didn't buy a beer at the track. Smart. Yeah. All right. So this is at turn 10 again.
Yesterday, Jeremy, it stayed away. Are we going to get some of it today?
This is Sunday, I think. No, this is the Lamborghini race. Yeah. Yeah, it's the Lamborghini Super Trofeo. So this race was after the SS 120. This was the last race on Saturday. This was really cool. It was very short, too. I think it was only like a 20-minute race. Yeah, the sound is so cool. So I got to watch the whole race from turn 10 grandstand. It was really fun. Bunch of rich bankers in cars that they had no business driving. Oh, I remember there was like a bunch of accidents, and then I remember the commentators like over the loudspeaker were like, yeah, the guy who organized the race, he's gonna have some words for the drivers. They really kind of were kind of shit or something like that, right? Yep, that's most IMSA support series. Yeah, apparently it was just like bad racing in general, but I didn't really get it. So okay, next one. Oop. And then I went out to this cool vegan Thai place for dinner and got masaman curry with like fake duck. They called it like mock duck. It was really good. I love masaman curry. I like that coconut flavor. So there's some pretty good places to eat in town. This one was like kind of a standout for me. Green Elephants? Yes, there's 2 Thai places. I tried to get into the first one and they were totally full and it was gonna like close in an hour. So I went to the other one. And I think that was Green Elephants. There's also the Dale Earnhardt walk here. So they had like a bunch of famous drivers and their stone placards here. So I saw one for Dale, do it for Dale, took a photo. All right, so this is Sunday. So Sunday was very cloudy to start, and there was definitely a threat of rain and thunderstorms. But when I got there, it was okay. Like, it was fine. It was definitely like a lot cooler than Saturday, which was super nice. So I wasn't like sweating as much.
As in the gold-fronted Cadillac there.
Oh yeah, so talking about Sunday, all the entirety of Sunday was the 6-hour race. So it was 6 hours of the Glen, and it was, the premier event of the weekend. So they had 4 different classes racing in this. So this was the big IMSA WeatherTech Championship, whatchamacallit. If anyone in chat wants to correct me, go for it. It was the big race. So they had these classes of cars. So they had GTP, LMP2, GTD Pro, and GTD. So I'm familiar with the LMP2 from 24 Hours of Le Mans and some other racing. The IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, if you want to get formal with it. Yeah. But apparently, I didn't know this, the GTP cars are like the flagship class of this series. And I think it stands for Grand Touring prototype, Grand Touring prototype or something like that. Yeah, GTD are basically GT3s but under IMSA. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then GTD is Grand Touring Daytona, if I remember right. So it's a more Americanized. And they also race at Le Mans and race in the hypercar class. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, cool. I got it right. Awesome. Anyway, all the cars were cool. I was most excited for the LMP2s because I'm more familiar with them. But the racing overall was really good among all the classes. The GTPs were very impressive for sure. So that is what we're going to see here. So this is basically lap 1 after the formation lap, as seen from turn 10. So what I'm zoomed in here is the boot. So we can see the boot from back there.
As in the gold-fronted Cadillac then for Cadillac Racing. Big news for Cadillac and for Action Express, the Whelan team coming through on Sports Car 365 yesterday. That's the car that Jack Aitken has in third place, maybe that fourth place at the moment. Is the people to Rani.
So these are the these are the GTPs. And then followed by the LMP2s. And what's really cool is that, like, if you don't know endurance racing, like, they're racing multiple different classes in the same race on the same track. They're just, like, separated by a little bit of time. So, like, at certain points, right, like, the faster classes are going to overtake the slower classes. That's when it gets, like, really spicy. And that's happening within, like, 10 to 15 minutes of the race starting, provided there's no, like, big accidents. Yeah, it's effectively 4 races going on at the same time. So the faster classes have to deal with that traffic. So, like, the slower classes have to make way for the faster classes. The faster classes have to get around them without, like, running into them and crashing, which is, like, really exciting, honestly. It's really exciting to see, like, how they kind of maneuver around. After watching the start of the race from turn 10, I wanted to go explore the boot. So the boot, down in the bottom right here, the boot is this entire area here, and this is a spectator area, so you can actually, like, go inside of here. So I went from, like, turn 10, which is here, walk over here, go down through the tunnel, and then if you walk off to the side here through, like, some of the other parking and camping areas, there's a pedestrian tunnel that will take you into the boot. So this is from the outside of the boot. This is around this area here, and you can see, like, the cars going around. It looks like turn 8. And then there's a bunch of spectators here, like, up on the hill. So I wanted to go to that area. So I walked down there, and there's this pedestrian tunnel. It's fucking spooky. It's so goddamn dark. And it's like, if you're claustrophobic, like, you would have a tough time with that tunnel. Because it's, like, it's very dark in the center of it. And it's kind of hard because you're going from, like, broad daylight to darkness. It's kind of hard to see the people in front of you. So you got to be careful you don't walk in anybody. So you kind of, like, hug the wall while you're going through, let people by. GTPs run 133s, GTDs run 145, so they get in each other's ways really quickly. Yeah. So this is at the boot. This is at turn 8. So I walked over to turn 8 and stood about here. And this was the first time I really got to see the cars racing, like, up really close. Like, the video doesn't really do it justice. You're up really close. You can see the cars very clearly. And they sound amazing too. They sound really good. So that's the cars going from turn 8 up to turn 9. So that's like this straight here. This was just another shot from turn 8. So I tried to catch, like, the LMP2s. I thought that was a pretty nice shot. This is the best way to watch sports car racing, is up close. Yeah, it really is. Also, you can go pretty much anywhere. You really can. There's very few areas where it's like, oh, I can't go there. This was, like, walking kind of, like, towards from turn 8 to turn 7. So there's this long straight here. So I caught some of these cars going down the straight here, which was really cool. You can see there's a lot of people that camp on this hill here where the pointer is along the straight. That's a really nice vantage point there because you get a little bit of the hill. You can see right down onto the track. This is the whole, like, lawn area in the boot, like, looking back around, like, here toward turn 8. So it's just, like, giant lawn, plenty of room to just hang out on, chill on, go picnicking if you want. This is down at turn 6, so this is the chute. So they come down this big bend here, turn 6, and this is probably one of the most exciting places to watch the cars come down. It's also like one of the most fun parts of the track. I had a lot of fun racing this in iRacing, just coming down the chute, taking different lines. So yeah, I spent quite a bit of time here just watching the cars come down. I had a picnic blanket, so I put the picnic blanket down and just like hung out for a bit. Here's like, I took a lot of videos here at the boot. I like that I got the Marshall post in here. So you can see like there's not a lot of time between each of the classes going through. That was only about like 15 seconds before we saw more cars. And it's like there's like 50 plus, almost like 60 cars on track at once. Like you're never bored like waiting around for the next cars to come. There's like always cars going by. $56, yeah. Yeah, but like look at them. They're like all like right up in each other's shit. It's crazy. At certain points, there was like big groups of like 10 plus cars that were getting like kind of bottlenecked together. It's really exciting. But yeah, I mean this is essentially like the entire race. Like you could just sit here and just watch them go by like all day. It was so cool. We call that clumping. Yeah, so like there's like a group of like 5 there. And then little like onesie twosies. But yeah, that was so cool. I hung out there for quite a while just watching that go on. Did I skip one? No. Okay. So this was back at turn 10. So after I got kind of like, okay, like I had to sit down and I kind of like waited a bit. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back to like, you know, the regular infield, go see what's going on in other parts of the track. It started raining, and I made it back to my car like really quickly, like as the rain was starting, and it kind of like bursted down like really quick. I don't think it lasted more than like 5 minutes, but in that 5 minutes, there was like a really bad accident here between turn 10 and 11. And I heard it, like I had the stream going on my phone, and I think I heard it over the loudspeaker too. And it literally like stopped raining like immediately after the crash happened. So I walked out to the turn 10 grandstand just to see what was going on. And it happened up here. There was like a lot of crap all over the track. I think they didn't red flag, but they definitely had a safety car out for quite a while. Oh, it was Iron Dames. Ooh, ouch. Yeah, so that was pretty nasty. But everyone was okay, I think. I don't remember hearing anyone got like seriously injured that weekend, so. Okay, so after that, I walked up to this straight. I forget what it's called, but it's the straight before the bus stop chicane. So I walked up here. There's a lot of people camping up here. And it was just really cool. The backstretch. Yeah. So I was at the backstretch, saw a lot of campers up here. The cars are going like full throttle down here. That was exciting. But the most fun thing I saw was just like checking out like other people's like camping situations. These guys had like a whole like porch raised up here from their RV, and they got like a tent over it and chairs and stuff. So they got like an amazing view from their RV back there. I just thought that was really funny. That entry to the inner loop is sick because it's the fastest they go there. Yeah. Oh yeah, so this is it. This is a good shot of the backstretch here. So it's like they've come up from turn 4, and then they're just coming straight down. This is under the safety car, so that's the Corvette safety car right there. And then everyone behind that is going pretty slow at this point. I mean, I say slow, but it's still like relatively fast. This was the bus stop chicane. This is like one of my like, I need to go here. Because for me, it's kind of infamous. I could never take this quite right when I was like doing a bunch of Watkins Glen races. So I just wanted to check out the bus stop chicane. It's actually kind of boring. I wasn't very excited by this, but I did hang out here for quite a while because it was starting to like drip and drizzle, and I just kind of wanted to hunker down for a bit, sip my beer, and watch the cars go by. But there are a lot of people out here in this area. This is one of the turbine cars. So what it is when the track gets wet and the rain stops, to quickly dry it out, they get these trucks out here with turbine engines, and they blow hot air onto the track. Jet dryers, yeah. So they'll dry off the track really quickly by deploying these trucks. I saw them a few times during the weekend. It was pretty cool. This is after... So I walked down the backstretch to the bus stop chicane, and then turn 5. Turn 5 is actually really exciting. I really, really like this section. So here's a cool video. So they go... This is probably the closest you can get to the cars outside of the boot. I felt really up close with them going by at this one. You got to go to a lot of the spots I suggested? Yeah, I mean, I wanted to see, like, the whole track, basically. Yeah, so it's hard to tell from the video, but, like, you're really up close at this one, and they're going fast. The sound is so good. This is actually my first time listening to the sound on my headphones. I love it. Yeah, that part's really cool. Oh man. Oh, ad break. Do you guys want to take a quick 3-minute ad break? Or do you all have ad blockers on? I will put on BRB. All right, we're gonna put on the BRB. I'll be back in 2 minutes, and then we'll finish this up. I'm not gonna go too much longer. Okay, we're back. All right. So at this point, so I went to the turn 5, which was awesome. And then walking back, I was like, oh, I'm hungry. I want to get lunch. And then like by the time I reached probably turn 9, it started like really raining. So I was dragging my McLaren raincoat around. I threw it on, and then I basically like ran back to my car. So I basically parked in the same spot on Sunday that I parked on Saturday, maybe a little bit closer to the turn 10 grandstand. And it just started fucking pouring. It poured so hard. So like I got in my car, put on the, turn the engine on, grab some snacks, grabbed a beer, and just like hung out in the car for the next like 35, maybe 40 minutes. So I like tried to watch the race streamed on my phone, which was tough because it's like you only get 4G out there. And everyone's on their phone, so like there's no bandwidth whatsoever. So the race just like buffers over and over again. So you catch like glimpses here and there, but like you don't really know what's going on. So like I kind of like propped my car window open and then just kind of like listened to what the commentators were saying over the loudspeakers. But yeah, it rained so hard they actually did red flag the race. They red flagged the race for a few minutes. And then they got going again. I think they stopped the clock for like a minute and then they restarted the clock. But they came into the pits. Everyone came into the pits, and I think they were in the pits for a good 10 or 15 minutes after the rain was going. This was when the Dames wrecked at turn 10, 11. Oh no! Yeah, I was really excited to see the one Lambo with the pink livery. I thought that was like really cool. Oh, it was like an hour? Yeah, I think my sense of time is pretty warped because I was just like, I'm just chilling in my car with like Cheetos, Oreos, and Allagash White. So, yeah, so like I hung out my car. That was fine because like I was just chilling. I had the air conditioning on. And then the 6 hour absolutely messed with you like that. It really did. It really did. You kind of like lost sense of time, especially because I was having such a good time. Like I literally went from like turn 10 to the boot, out of the boot, up to the backstretch, over to turn 5, back down here. It was a really good experience. I think I basically stayed on the eastern side of the track there for most of the race. And then when the rain finally broke, the sun was coming out. There's basically only 30 minutes left in the race. So I went down to the concession area. Actually everybody was like kind of packing up by this point. They're packing up in the last hour. Because it had rained so hard, and I think a lot of the merch got like pulled down because it's just hanging out. They want it rained on. So I grabbed some chicken tendies and some French fries, real good track food. And then I went to the turn 11 grandstand. So I wanted to see what the track looked like from one of the grandstands on the finish straight. So I went to the turn 11 grandstand. That was a really good experience. So I caught a video here. It looks like it's under safety car. Yeah, I see the safety car there. So this was a really cool angle to watch the last like 35 minutes of the race from. Did you get any of that pulled pork from the smokehouse trailer at the bridge? I didn't because I had pulled pork on Friday night after the glass museum. So yeah, I think this is like 1 to green at this. I think the next lap around the safety car went in. But yeah, that shot right there, that's such a cool shot. Like this is one of the best views of the Glen. Because like, right, you get the turn 10, turn 11 action, the last turn before the finish line. You get to see the grandstands out here, the entire pit straight, and it's fucking beautiful out here. The New York countryside is like fucking gorgeous. Like you got the mountains in the background. You're actually up on the mountain, up on a mountain. So it's like you're up really high elevation wise. I say really high. It's really high for like East Coast, right? So it's probably like, I don't know, like 800 feet or something. Not even that, probably more like 500 feet. But yeah, it's just really beautiful out here. The clouds were out, like the sun was, kind of nice at this point. I definitely got more sunburn on Sunday. I'd already been burned a little bit on Saturday, but I got more on Sunday, which is weird because I put sunscreen on and it was like raining all day, but whatever. Yeah, so that was cool. And then, is there anything else? Oh yeah, so this was, yeah, I think this was either the last lap of the race or the first lap after the safety car. I don't know. It's gorgeous. It's just a really nice shot. I really like the view from the turn 11 grandstand, looking back at the turn 10 grandstand. And then this was after the race. So this is the winner of the, what was it, GTP class, Felipe Nasser. So he got a big round of applause from the crowd. He was waving to us. We were waving back, waving our hats. That was really cool. So it was nice to see, all the cars pull into Parc Fermé. Yeah. And then everybody went home. It was fun. It was a really, really fun weekend. I really, really had a good time. Makes notes of all these grandstands for when I buy NASCAR tickets. Yeah, I imagine with NASCAR you get like an assigned seat, right? It's not like this, GA everywhere because it's a big event, right? So you're gonna go in September to the NASCAR event. Yep, they locked that bitch down. Yeah, so yeah, it was really interesting doing my research beforehand because I know you said some stuff about how like, NASCAR weekends are a little more strict on some things rules wise, and then like other races like they don't give a fuck. So like I looked on the website and it's like they have all these rules. It's like what you can and cannot bring. You cannot bring giant hard shell coolers. You can only bring soft shell coolers 10 by 10 or at the most, but all these things. Well, and like I show up and like I read on Reddit, like there's a Reddit thread of somebody asking basically like, do they really enforce any of this? And everyone's like, no, only on NASCAR weekends. So I was like, okay, I'm bringing my cooler because like that's gonna make my life like so much better. They never check your trunk. They never like say boo. You could bring fucking like pop-up tents and chairs. Like they don't give a fuck. Like IMSA weekend here is just really goddamn chill, and I really, really like that. I like that like I could go to any grandstand. I didn't have to fight for a seat. I didn't have to like push my way through anybody. Everyone was just like really respectful and just like, yeah, everyone just kind of like did their own thing and stayed out of each other's way. So like, to be honest, like I've done F1, which was awesome. I did F1 in Montreal and that was very crowded, but like I enjoyed it. I had a really good time. And then I've done this. And I think that like in general, I would be down to do more of this kind of chill weekend. Just because it's like, I don't know, it's not super expensive. It's chill. Like I just had a really good time. It was just really, really low stress in general. So yeah, really, really fun event. Definitely recommend you go to Watkins Glen if it's within striking distance for you. It is out in the middle of nowhere, but like if you enjoy things like going to the Glass Museum or like going to the vineyards and like doing wine tastings, things like that, or just like exploring, the lakes and the rivers and the natural beauty of central New York, I highly recommend going out to the Glen. It's super fun. Oh, if you like motorcycle racing, I highly recommend going to Jersey Motorsports Park for the Moto America race. I don't know anything about motorcycle racing. The only thing about motorcycle racing I know is yeah, I don't know anything actually. I don't know shit. Yeah, probably going. Got to get my passport. Might get a hookup for a hot pass, pit and garage access. Yeah, do it. They used to go to Lime Rock Park, but they sadly don't go there anymore. I know. I probably could have gone to an IMSA event at Lime Rock a couple of years ago when they were still going there, but now they're not. They actually had. I was listening in on like the commentator stuff, like when I was trapped in my car during the rain, and they actually had like the IMSA president like hanging out, and he like basically apologized. He basically apologized for like not having IMSA at Lime Rock anymore. He said he felt bad about it, but he's like, yeah, we just, it's a lot of money. We just, the teams don't have the money and we don't have the money. I was like, yeah, sounds about right. Alternatively, if you're Canadian, Mosport is a great venue too. I will be there in 3 weeks for the IMSA race there. They also only brought GT classes there. Yeah, he also apologized for no GTP at Mosport too. The only thing I wanted to see this weekend that didn't show up was the MX-5 races. There were no MX-5 Miata races at the Glen this weekend. So I was a little bit sad about that because I do love my Miatas. I like my Miatas a lot. We're getting MX-5, baby. Is that at Mosport you're talking about? Is that the next race? That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's CTMP. Nice. I did get to see some Miata racing last fall in October, I did go to Lime Rock and saw they had an event called MiataCon, and it was literally just all Miatas. So it's like you could bring your Miata, registered at the show, hang out at SCCA. Yeah, it was an SCCA event, and yeah, they had like a bunch of Miata races there. Yeah, it was just really, really cool. Kind of want to go back. Lime Rock is beautiful. Lime Rock is really, really, really beautiful. Kind of the same vibes as Watkins Glen, just like way smaller. Probably about half, maybe even less than half the size of Watkins Glen. It's itty bitty. It is a very small track. So yeah. Is there anything else I had? I think that was it. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mechanics, for coming to my big slideshow, my TED Talk about my weekend at Watkins Glen. I had a really good time, and I want to go back. I want to go back. I want to go to the Glen. I want to go to more races, probably more endurance races. I really like the all-day events. Yeah, it was really, really fun. I'm glad you had a blast, though. I was a little worried how you'd like it, but yeah, honestly, like, I kind of like that I just went there without knowing anything. Like I know stuff about motorsports, but like I don't know anything about this series. I don't follow any of the endurance racing like outside of like 24 Hours of Le Mans. So like I don't really know like what this is all about. And I think that a lot of people that went didn't give a fuck either. They were just like, yeah, we want to go see cars. It's cool to see cars. Like they didn't really care what kind of cars. It didn't need to be NASCAR. It didn't need to be F1. It could be fucking anything. People just want to go to an event and just hang out and chill and drink a beer and have a good time. So I really appreciated that vibe. Great access for a third of the price of an F1 ticket. I honestly, like, people that are fans of the sport really pump up that grid walk, and I see why. It was really, really worth it. Like it was kind of magical in a sense that you get to be like that up close and see the teams and everybody buzzing about and doing all that stuff. That was so cool. It was so cool. All right. Closer to 10% of a ticket for the US F1 races. Yeah. All right. Mechanics, I hope you have a good evening. I hope you have a good week. I will have a schedule up in the next couple of days. I'm going to probably take Tuesday and Wednesday off, like I said earlier, but I should be back Thursday or Friday, and then maybe once or twice on the weekend. So it's going to be a bit of a lighter week, but I got some good stuff going on. So have a great evening. I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, let's see who we can raid. I think Babinka is streaming Majora's Mask, if I remember right. Hey, Hux. You came just in time for me to end. Oh, wait. Saku is still doing her Donothon. So my good friend Sakura Mikage, she's doing a Donothon, 5-day Donothon for her live 2D model. So she's doing a bunch of challenges right now. So if you'd like to go check her out, please do. I'm going to raid into her. Please support her. And yeah, have a good rest of your evening. Bye-bye. Bye.